Welcome back, viewers, and today we've got episode 3 in my series on the evolution of Formula One, and today's episode is all about F1 in the noughties. So we start off the 2000s with Michael Schumacher duking it out with Mika Häkkinen, so a continuation of the end of the 90s, and with Häkkinen having won in 98 and 99, we see Schumacher take the title in 2000 and start a period of Ferrari domination, which lasts for the next 5 years. Also in 2000, we see new engine regulations. So now the engines have to be 3-litre V10s. They can't be any other configuration. To attract more manufacturers to Formula One, there's a whole host of cost-reducing measures taken over the next few years. So in 2001, we see exotic engine materials banned, such as the beryllium alloys. We see Toyota join the grid as a factory team, and we see traction control and launch control allowed again. In 2002, we see team orders banned after some controversy with Ferrari team orders in the previous years. In 2003, the hands system is introduced, which you can't actually see on these drivers, but just to increase driver safety. And now cars all the way down to 8th score points. Up to this point, it was just the top 6 that scored, but now it's the top 8. In 2004, new regulations came in that said engines must last the whole weekend, so engines couldn't be swapped out between qualifying and the race. And because starts had become a bit bland, launch control was banned again. The other thing we saw was the 3-element rear wings were restricted to just 2 elements from 2004 onwards. And in 2005, again to reduce cost, the engines had to last at least 2 race weekends. There was also other measures to make overtaking easier. So the wings and diffusers were changed, although in retrospect this didn't really work. Also in 2005, we see Michael Schumacher's 5-year reign come to an end, and Fernando Alonso winning in the Renault, not the Benetton, in 2005, and then go on to win it in 2006 as well. In 2006, there's a big shake-up to the engine regulations. So gone are the beautiful sounding 3-litre V10s, and in come the 2.4-litre V8s. We see the aerodynamics on the cars in 2006, 2007 become even more intricate, with huge numbers of kind of mini wings, barge boards on barge boards, and the cars looking very complicated indeed. Also in 2007, the rev limit goes down to 19,000 RPM, which seems incredibly high, but in previous years the engines are revving even higher than that. And we also see drivers having to use the soft and hard compound tyres during a single race. Again, to try and spice up the action a bit. In 2008, traction control is banned, again putting more emphasis on driver skill. BMW have entered Formula 1 by this stage, actually a couple of years earlier, but another manufacturer with a factory team. And also in 2008, we see CFD and wind tunnel time become limited, again to level the playing field and make F1 more accessible to more teams. In 2009, we see another big shake-up in regulations. So gone is all the fussy aero from 2008, 2007. And in comes much cleaner looking cars. We've got smaller rear wing, a much larger front wing. And of course, we have the Brawn double diffuser. We also see engines limited even further, so now only 8 engines can be used across a whole season, and the rev limit comes down again to 18,000 RPM. We also see the introduction of KERS, which stands for Kinetic Energy Recovery System, although the teams agree not to use this in the next season in 2010 because it was extremely expensive and unreliable, although we see it reintroduced a year later once teams have got on top of it. But in 2010 it's not used. Also in 2009, 2010, we see that proper slick tyres come back in, so gone are the groove tyres of the previous decade, and in come proper slicks. And we also see in-race refuelling banned. So there we have it. This is F1 in the Naughties, which I guess most of the viewers of this channel will remember. We see some great stories during this period. Like I said, we see the dominance of Ferrari and Schumacher. We see the controversy of Ferrari and McLaren, where McLaren stole the designs, I guess, of the Ferrari and produced a very similarly looking car, and were actually banned as constructors from 2007, or sorry, disqualified I should say. And then towards the end of this decade we see the incredible story of Brawn GP. So Honda pulled out the year before. Ross Brawn bought the team for £1, trying to save all the jobs at the Brackley factory, and then of course produced an incredible championship winning car, gave Jenson Button his first and only Drivers' World Championship, and then of course this team then goes on to become the mighty dominant Mercedes team in the subsequent decade. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at the Naughties. As usual, please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and let me know your experiences of F1 in the Naughties in the comments below.